if you're not having fun, you're not tricking. That's what I used to hear a lot when I started.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, you don't want to be one of those people who never improves at all, because that's not that fun. Like most of those people like end up giving up. It doesn't fulfill you in the long run if you're like not getting any better.
Okay, so your standpoint is, let me just try and dig down to what your standpoint is. You don't think it's important to enjoy tricking at all times, but you think it's an element to progression.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so what is it?
I think the goal should be to enjoy tricking all of the time. But you also have to, like, the progression aspect is really important too. So I mean, you can't only have the goal to enjoy tricking, otherwise you don't get that good. You got to think about progression, even if that makes enjoying it hard sometimes. So what I mean by that, let's say, I'll use an example from my own life. Mm-hmm. I found touchdown raise really hard to learn. I'm always blabbering on about it all the goddamn time.
He does.
Yeah. So I hated doing it. So it wasn't super fun for me to learn. But when I decided to do the 1,000 rep challenge, then by counting my reps and by keeping track, I managed to make it fun to practice. So rather than thinking this isn't fun, I'm not going to do it, I acknowledged that I needed to do it to progress as much as I wanted, and then found a way to make it fun. So that's what I mean. Maybe putting the progression first and then making the progression fun, rather than just looking at what's fun and trying to make that into progression, because it doesn't normally work out that way. You end up just doing what's easy sometimes and never overcoming the things you need to overcome.
Okay, so I'm going to try and summarize your point so that I understand, and then I want to play devil's advocate to try and
go on, big man.
So what you're saying is your goal should be to enjoy it all of the time. However, you do need to accept that in order to progress to the level that you may want to, which is quite difficult, you have to sometimes put up with things that you're not going to enjoy quite as much.
Yeah, and figure out ways to make yourself enjoy it.
Okay, but do you not think, devil's advocate here, because, I don't know, Kojo and I pretty much agree with most things.
We agree on too many things, which I don't like.
So we need to argue about some stuff, and I'm going to play devil's advocate in order to do that.
Go on then.
So, do you think...
Devil mid.
Do you think that if you're not enjoying the stuff that you're doing, then as long as you're doing the reps, then you're going to be able to progress? Because I think that if you don't enjoy it, then you may not progress as quickly as you like, because you're a little bit more, I don't know.
You're not enthusiastic.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I agree. I agree that if you're not enjoying it, but then I think you have to find a way to enjoy it and change your mindset, change your approach to it, try and get inspired, like mix up the way you train, maybe do some other stuff for a bit, but still come back to it. I think it's more about like sticking to your path in some ways, like having your goals, figuring out practical, effective ways to work towards those goals, and then making that fun. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
For lots of it. And another side of this with the enjoyment versus progression, it's like, think about it like this, just with enjoying your life. It's fun to maybe go for like drinks with your friends or something from time to time, to socialize, to have a good time, to go to the discotheque. Could be fun from time to time, you know, boogie and all that. Get down and dirty, you know. But if you were like drinking hardcore every single night, then it wouldn't be good for you. It wouldn't be good for how you feel. You wouldn't be feeling that great. So I think with some stuff like that, it's like, it's good to let your hair down in your tricking session and just do whatever and have a bit, like, just try some mad shit and just like go in, get really hype. But if you're taking a load of painkillers and doing pre-workout every day and going hard for hours, then you're just going to destroy your body. So I think it's all about balance, isn't it? Like, you can't just do the... Because for me, I would have the most fun if I just had a bunch of painkillers and took a load of pre-workout and then tricked for 4 hours. I'd love that.
Yeah.
I used to love doing that all the time. But I realised it's not the best for progression, even though it can be super fun, just spamming trips, getting really hyped. It's not the best for progression because it can fuck your body up.
Well, that's the thing. The problem with that, I've found, is that it seems like you're progressing, but then it's only years later that you realise, because you did that too many times, you pushed yourself to the point where you needed 2 months off, and then you fucked it, so you got to go straight back to square one, you got to build everything back up again.
And just overall, I don't know, it got to a point with me where, because I was trying to train so much, I wanted to train like 5-6 times a week, tramping loads in between, or just training all the time. Mm-hmm. It's like, you do progress, but you end up getting all these little injuries that set you back every like few weeks or month, and eventually it gets to the point where if you trick 2 or 3 times a week, every single week, and be really careful, if you didn't get those injuries over the course of a year, you'd be able to trick more.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, what was it?